Welcome to Conversations. I'm Suresh Kochatal. Where is the war going? That's a question on everybody's lips. Whether you're lining up to buy fuel from a petrol bunk or waiting for the elusive LPG, the question is simple. When will this war end? Or rather, when will it not end? That's a question nobody's able to answer, even President Donald J. Trump. Because every day he claims that America has won the war. He's been doing that from possibly the first week onwards. He says the regime has changed. He says we are talking to the Iranians. And the next sentence he says we're going to bomb the hell out of them. Nobody's sure what President Trump actually wants. That way, the Israelis are far, far better. They know for sure what they need to do and what they're doing. But President Trump and his advisors seem to be all at sea. Look at the situation from day one. He got into the war, prodded possibly by the Israelis, who told them that they had a beautiful hit time on the 28th of February in the morning at 9:15, when then Ayatollah Khamenei and his advisors were all ganged up in a room in the presidential palace. And what happened? A direct hit, and the entire leadership got wiped out. America's assumption was that that's the end of it. Everybody will surrender, and we will have a new regime in place. But Iran did not surrender. They had factored all this. In fact, the late Ayatollah actually had written down command to say who will replace him and how it will be done. And that is how it happened. Then President Trump, as he claims, he wiped out the second rung of leadership, which is true. They wiped out the Iranian Navy, which was hardly there. They wiped out the Air Force with old aircraft. But then the missiles, the drones, they all kept coming. They were able to go as far as Cyprus, and they regularly hit Israel. They even went towards Azerbaijan and, of course, Diego Garcia. That shows the Iranians still have the capacity to fight and fight back like hell. Ladies and gentlemen, just think, what would you do if you're boxed into a corner like a cat and then somebody's prodding at you, trying to hit you? You will fight back to the extent possible till you're possibly tired of it all and give it up. The Iranians are not like that. The Iranians have fought Saddam Hussein for 10 years. They've gone through numerous bombing campaigns by Israel and the United States, and they've survived it. And that is what their strategy is. Their strategy is not to win this war because they know they cannot. With the overwhelming firepower that Israel and US has, there's no way in hell that Iran can win this war. But they can always survive, and that is their aim, to survive at all cost, to fight a war which is not a straightforward war. It's a different kind of war where David and Goliath fight their own kind of strategies. If you're sending out a drone which costs $20,000 to $30,000, it is met by a missile which costs $1 to $2 million. That is the difference. America is literally getting bankrupted in this war, technically. And that is why they've gone back to their Congress and asking for $200 billion. And that too, when President Trump says, we already won the war. I'm kind of winding it up. But then why do you need $200 billion then? That is a question which everybody is asking Pete Hegseth and others at the Pentagon. Nobody has an answer because nobody knows how to stop this war. It's easy to start a war. We know what happened with Russia and Ukraine. We know what happened with the Israelis and the Hamas. Everybody said these wars will be over in a week's time because the other side is too powerful. But the Russia-Ukraine war is now into its fourth year. A lakh of people have died this side, a lakh of people have died the other side. And nobody seems to want to stop this entire thing. It's still going on and on and on. That's the tragedy of it. When Prime Minister Modi called off the war, or rather agreed to the Pakistani offer of a ceasefire, 4 days into the war, everybody asked him, Operation Sindhu stopped at the fourth day. Why? You could have gone on. We could have captured Lahore, Karachi, this. But Prime Minister Modi knew what he was doing. Because once you have met your objective, what was your objective in Operation Sindhu? To strike the terrorist camps and decapacitate them. It was done. But in case of this particular war that is going on between Iran, Israel and the United States, the issue is that the US started with an assumption which never worked. They never factored into the strategy that Iran could block the Strait of Hormuz, which any kid would tell you is something that Iran would have done because they're fighting an asymmetric warfare. They're not fighting a straightforward one. They knew the trump card for Trump was the Strait of Hormuz. They knew that the missiles and drones were their way of responding. Today, when Pakistan claims that they're organizing a meet to get all the people on board, Iran says, we are not coming. The US says, we don't want to meet unless the Iranians are there. What do we do? We're just looking at an empty chair on the other side. That is the problem. Today, the Iranians know for sure that as long as they hold on to the Strait of Hormuz, they are sitting on a gold mine. People are talking of a toll that is being collected. Who knows? Tomorrow it might be another Suez Canal, for all you know. And Iran would be surviving even then. They would make more money than they made before the war by selling oil at $100 a barrel. The Chinese will gladly lap it up, and for many other countries which are desperate for oil. The question now is, how do we stop this? President Trump says he wants to take the Kag Island as if it's sitting there for the asking. No. As the Iranians promised, they would rain hell on them, on the US Marines or the 82nd Airborne. Whatever said and done, it's not easy. No side can walk away from this war. Maybe the Iranians will not, because they want to take it to the logical conclusion. They made life hell for their neighbors, be it Saudi Arabia, be it the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, you name it, even Oman. Everybody has got it. They have destroyed their main line of business, be it tourism in Dubai, be it the refineries in Saudi Arabia, be it the US Fifth Fleet in Bahrain, or the Kuwaiti refineries, or even the Qatari gas fields. Everybody is getting hit. And Iran knows that. When Israel bombed their gas fields in South Pars, what did they do? They didn't hit Israel immediately. Iran hit the Qataris. And the Qataris saw a damage which will take at least 2 to 3 years to rectify. The Qatari business is out because 80% of their revenue for the country of 4 lakh people comes from the gas fields. And that's gone overnight. Look at Dubai. It was a tourism destination where people used to come, enjoy, and huge hotels, huge number of rooms, all are empty today. An airport that handled 95 million passengers a year is like a ghost town. What will happen to them? What will happen to those airlines? Emirates, Saudi. And you have Qatar, Fly Dubai, Gulf Air, you name it. All of them are sitting idle now. And that's a tragedy that was waiting to happen. Because nobody factored that Iran would hit their neighbors with equal ferocity as much as they got it from the Israelis and the Americans. What is the way forward? Well, I don't know. I would be a kind of billionaire if I knew the answer for that. The only way is for the Americans to walk away, saying that we have won the war. We'll all applaud President Trump for it. Like a small kid wanting to get an appreciation for something that he or she claims to have done. We will give him that. We'll say, oh, beautiful, you won the war. But beyond it, what? Iran will now start dictating terms to its Gulf neighbors, because all the Gulf neighbors, the GCC countries and others, know for sure that tomorrow you cannot play around with Iran. You might be able to kind of destroy them in the short term now, as we saw at Isfahan and other places today. But not in the long run. The Iranians have a better IQ than even Indians, we Indians. We are at the 34th place. Iran is at 5th place in the world IQ standards. They're highly educated. And then it's no surprise that they make these kind of drones and missiles. And they know best part, how to hide them. So if somebody wants to take over the Strait of Hormuz tomorrow, well, they'll be Iran's breakfast for sure. Let's see how things go from here. And maybe we will have some more updates. If a couple of bombs drop here or there, who knows? President Trump might do anything. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind. And others know for sure that tomorrow you cannot play around with Iran. You might be able to kind of destroy them in the short term now, as we saw at Isfahan and other places today, but not in the long run. The Iranians have a better IQ than even Indians, we Indians. We are at the 34th place. Iran is at 5th place in the world IQ standards. They're highly educated. And then it's no surprise that they make these kind of drones and missiles. And they know best part, how to hide them. So if somebody wants to take over the Strait of Hormuz tomorrow, well, they'll be Iran's breakfast for sure. Let's see how things go from here. And maybe we will have some more updates. If a couple of bombs drop here or there, who knows? President Trump might do anything. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind.